Hey.
Hello.
Hi. So, yeah, we have 3 Lithuanian names on this game's box, and one of them is yours.
Lucky me.
Or lucky us. Yeah. How did you create it? 3 of you.
Yeah, it's. I was creating games before, and Martynas, the second guy, is my good friend, and he came to me, I think 2 years ago, like one summer day, to my office, and we were like talking a bit and going for a walk. It was a sunny evening, and we thought like, well, maybe let's try to design a game. And then we met the third guy, Dima, who is our friend, and he just happened to sit on the bench, also chilling that evening. And we're like, hey, what's up? Maybe you want to create a game tonight? And so that's when we all agreed.
So it was one night?
We started that evening, yeah, and then we started like brainstorming and just throwing ideas and talking about the games in general. What purpose would we like to fulfill?
Mm-hmm.
And then after that we had some rough ideas. And then one day later, like I added like this mechanic to the game, which is now the main mechanic of the game. And then we met again, and we had our first prototype after 3 days or something.
And that was a few years ago.
Yeah, that was 2 summers ago. Yeah. So.
Okay. How did you become a game designer?
I don't know, I guess when you get your first game printed, you can call yourself a game designer, but until then I worked in a children camp, a lot of camps, and actually now we're sitting here in a children camp, and through these camps I always realized that, well, you have to play with children, and the best if you every activity you make it like a game. So I realized like that's the best way to educate children and to have fun with them. Mm-hmm. And then I discovered that why not to try to create something that they can take home from a camp. So that were the first ideas, and well, I made like something like 10 games, and they were not published, like the first ones, and
they were made during the camps?
Differently, like after the camps, during the camps, and yeah. So
in the beginning, your first idea was actually to use the camp and for the kids to have some accomplishment feeling, so that they have created something. Or
like the board game camps which we have now, it's happened later after I discovered like the fun of creating board games and so on. But the very first camps were just like creating fun for the kids in variety of ways, like hikes, games, like treasure hunts, and so on and so on. So, and then I realized maybe I can put some of these experiences into the box and spread it even more, because like in my camps I don't like big camps, so it's normally like up to 20 kids, so I can get to know them and work individually. And then after that I thought like, wow, maybe that's a way to reach more people. Mm-hmm. So that's when these experiences starting to be put into the box. But also it's not very easy, because in the camp you can just improvise and create a game out of nothing, just with a stick, hit some, I don't know, pine cones or something like that. And
so when did you start organizing camps? Participate? Or
after I was 18, I was like, once I was like an adult, like they started inviting me, like the camp leader started inviting me to the camps, because they saw that I can, be playful and create fun. Mm-hmm. So at the beginning it was, I enjoyed it. Then it was kind of weird, because I didn't earn that much money, and I thought like, well, they keep inviting me, and maybe I should look for some other jobs, and which I did. I was like studying and trying to find like my place in society. But when the invitations didn't stop, and I was like, okay, maybe it's my destiny to work with kids. So that's when I started looking for what's the next level. You know, it's just spending a week with kids. It's fun, it's nice, but I've done it for almost 20 years. And I'm very happy I've discovered board games. So that was the next step for me, like how to make it that it could be enjoyed by a lot of people. And of course, that's not such an easy task. But that was a challenge, creative challenge, and I took it. And yeah, it's to this day it's still a challenge. I'm going.
So how many years? How many summers?
Designing games?
No, camps.
Oh, so yeah, almost 20 years now, maybe 18 now, yeah. And designing games, I started maybe 5 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's...
Nice. I mean, yeah, the way you're doing camps, I can only approve. Very approve. High quality and very entertaining for kids and...
Yeah.
So what was your first game published, or how did it happen?
Yeah, the first one, I think both of them went kind of at the same time. It was Emojito, the game with faces.
That was the first game published?
Yeah, that one, and the other one is single card game where you just use one card, the smile, and that's all the game. So the first one was published by Desyllas Games, and the other one by Blorn. So we kind of entered at the same time. So both emotional, crazy games. So that was good start. I was happy that these games were picked, and from there I knew like, oh, okay, I have a chance, because like there's also this doorstep. Until you have a game published, it's maybe a bit harder to convince somebody that you can do it all the way to the end. But once you do it, I was like, yeah, let's do more.
And what is so far the most successful, or in your opinion, the game of yours?
Yeah, like number-wise, like if counting number-wise, I think probably Planet is now most spread sort of worldwide, and maybe most known, and it's still early stages, so it's still spreading.
Yeah. We're publishing it in Baltics.
Yeah, so great.
And it got the Astra Marketplace Award.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a big thing in US.
Yeah, and got the Mensa nomination. So
Mensa nomination, yeah.
The smart people approve it. So, so yeah, that one I think got the most sort of like recognition. But also I was very surprised that Emojito got this nomination for Kinderspiel Des Jahres 1 or 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So that was kind of unexpected and very pleasant. And sometimes, like for example, another game, Story Chest, which I really love about telling the stories, and you can create a story every time. I'm so happy it's published. I don't know the numbers, and I don't think they are like super good, but I'm just happy that this game is on the market. So yeah. So that's also a success for me. Like I love that game a lot, and actually that game started like in children camps, because I was looking for ways how to create new stories every time. So when you go to sleep, we always tell a story, and sometimes you're out of ideas. So I wanted some tool to help camp leaders to tell stories, and that's how this game started, Story Chest, and and it's out now. But it's also not so easy to to use your imagination and to connect different things and create a story. So it's not that everyone is looking for this type of games. But yeah, that is also a success from my eyes.
Why do you think people need games? Or do people need games?
Yeah.
Like games as such.
Well, maybe not all of the people. But for example, I really need, and it's it sort of kind of opens your imagination, because you enter like different realms and different themes in the games, and you can experience different kind of human possibilities. if you let your imagination flow, you're sailing as a pirate. In another one, you're a farmer. Then you are negotiating. You're maybe a mafia guy, you know. So it's like you get to know all these aspects of humans, which in real life, you know, maybe not. You're not gonna be a mafia guy or a pirate in your lifetime. But if you sort of immerse in the game, if you go into the game and enjoy it, and how to say, like experience it fully. So I think it's you can feel it. It's like almost real. So yeah. So I think to answer your question is to experience different kind of human choices in life and different type of lives.
To experience it in a game before you experience it in...
Yeah, and then you can choose. Especially for kids, they also learn, different aspects of different possibilities. So yeah.
So is there a big game designer community in Lithuania? Do you keep in touch with other game designers?
Yeah, there is a big there's association which is called Game Designers Association, and but that involves like also computer game designers, app designers, and so on. So if we talk about all designers, then it's quite big, I would say. Talking about board game designer, there is like a club of board game designers, and there are some people, but I wouldn't say it's a lot. So it's normally like people who look at it as a hobby, so not so many. But yeah, like now since I became one, so normal, like around me, some friends and some new people that get to know me, they start designing, so I don't feel lonely. Yeah, but it could grow. So hopefully these kids that are coming to these board game design camps,
they are designing already.
Yeah, so some of them might feel this later in the life that, like, wait a minute, I did create a game and I felt good, and why not try it more? So that's actually how I felt. Like maybe I remember some games when I designed in a childhood, and then when I was an adult already, I was like, wait a minute, why don't I try to design a game? And that's how I rediscovered the fun of it. So hopefully it will work.
So you've been pitching a lot yourself, I mean, to many different publishers and companies.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you would maybe suggest to a new game designer that wants to pitch to someone?
Well, yeah, a lot. It's kind of like the game design itself is an art form. Like you have to discover what style is best for you to create and so on. The same with pitching, presenting the games, and selling when agreeing to terms. So that's also an art in itself. And sometimes I think you can be not such a great game designer, but a good selling person or pitcher, how do you call him? And it could work as good.
Pitch anything, yeah.
Well, pretty much, yeah. But you do need a good game, but sometimes you don't need a great game to sell it. So yeah, that's not to advise. It's maybe one advice I would say, just don't go into conflict. I mean conflict, not like shouting or something, but inside you don't sort of like some conflicts arise because some publishers might remark or say something about your game or suggest something or comment on something, and you might feel not so well sometimes because it's judging on your creativity or asking you to behave in such and such way. So like noticing these conflicts and just calming yourself down and finding a ways to cooperate with publishers. I think that's that's a good advice. If you manage to do that, then you will find a way with any publisher. And so that's very general, but but that's also not so easy to do, because I experienced it myself. Like sometimes you get a bit emotional and so on and so on. So I'm still learning that myself, but I see this brings good results. But sooner or later you find the way with that publisher, or maybe you meet like a couple of years later and you're still in good vibes. So yeah, that's this inner introspection. Yeah.
How would you describe brain games in few sentences?
Brain games. Well, it's hard to put it in just few sentences, but I think, like bluntly, it would be just the biggest game publisher in Baltic states, in Baltic countries. So I'm myself from Lithuania, so you guys are from Latvia, so that's like, yeah, that's what we are proud of, and we have only a few publishers here, of course, and not so many game designers as well. So it's always nice to see like things blossoming in this part, and yeah, I'm happy to see that we of course, myself and you guys are some part of this whole global movement, since these games are distributed worldwide. So yeah, good job.
Good job.
And so yeah.
Are you happy with the?
Yeah. It makes a sound. It flies.
Yeah.
I'm very happy with this design. It's a nice pig, and it's great that this game came out in a pig year, just to celebrate that.
So how many games do you have published this year?
I don't know, maybe this one and few more. This year is 2019, yeah?
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe not so many yet. I know one or two is coming in Essen. So this one is the earliest I have seen so far from this year. So hopefully it will be free.
Cool. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.